Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos.
Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, did the intro not play? What just happened? It did not show up on my end. Hang on, guys. Hang on.
Oh, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATP. Shout out to my boy DZ. There we go. I think the intro I don't think the intro played that first time. It just feels weird doing it without the intro, guys. So we had to run it back. But what is going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in and spending your precious time here with the Candle Mafia and your boy Frankie Candles to do 2 full hours of technical analysis on this thing that we call Bitcoin and crypto assets to try to figure out if these things are going up and down or up or down. But obviously, guys, long time no see. We were just live for the FOMC meeting, and we got to move up, guys. We got the move to the upside. The long is feeling good. My stop loss is at my break even, and it's feeling pretty good. Now, if you guys watched the live stream from last night, you will know that we were looking at some specific levels to the upside for us to potentially come up and bearishly retest, and we have gotten very close to these levels. However, we did not tap them to the dollar, so we have to keep our eye out for a potential another move up to tap these levels. However, we did get very close to them, and we are starting to get a little bit of a pullback now. But I want to break down Bitcoin, guys. Are we going to get a continued move to the upside, or are we going to get a reversal to the downside? And my general sentiment yesterday, kind of moving into today's news or FOMC meeting, I don't know. I mean, technically it's news, but it's not like, you guys know what I mean. Shut up, Siri. Come on, Siri, what the? Yeah, Siri just looked up. That was interesting. But, guys, last night on the stream, we were talking about how a potential move up was possible to come bearishly retest some of these levels. And, again, we've gotten very close. And I do just want to start off the show, guys, with my sentiment remains the same, right? In the medium term, I am going to feel a little bit more comfortable shorting the lower highs as we get these moves to the upside. And we were looking for a potential short-term pump last night as we were showing my long position. But just talking about how just because I was in a long, I was not expecting, thank you, Mrs. Candles, for the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. You know, obviously I wasn't expecting a giant move to the upside, but basically just a move up to potentially put in a lower high and then look for shorts to potentially ride this thing a little bit further down. So I want to break it all down for you guys on tonight's live stream. We're going to be taking a look at those key levels of support underneath us that we have to keep an eye on just in case we do get that bigger breakdown. And then we will go over those levels of resistance, which haven't really changed too much since yesterday, but we have come very close to those levels. So we want to go over that, talk about what we were looking at yesterday, break down where I think we're going in the near term and the long term, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at some of those altcoins because some of them are starting to move, guys. Some of them are starting to move. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and say what is going on to the Candle Mafia. Shout out to DeFi and Ryan. Thank you for that $10 super chat, bro. DeFi and Ryan's been crushing it, and he says, thank you so much for the sauce-based recipe. You have given me confidence, and it's paying off big this week. Your videos and Discord have been pivotal in my journey. Pivotal in my journey. Thank you. I'm up another 50%, if I'm not mistaken. I think DeFi and Ryan 2x'd his account. Potentially last time he left a super chat for us. But he's been crushing it lately, guys. So shout out to DeFi and Ryan. But let's see who else we got in the chat today. Guys, already going nuts here. We got 365. We got a year's worth of people in here, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where you guys have multiple chances to win some free stuff. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow at about 1:30, we will be doing our 50,000 subscriber giveaway, where we're giving away 1 ETH to lifetime premium Discord memberships. You can't even buy a lifetime membership. These are only being given away. So whoever wins those 2 memberships, those are going to be the only 2 people that have a lifetime subscription. So we're going to be giving away those. We're going to be giving away a whole lot of stuff. We also have our giveaway on Friday to do. This might be a record for the amount of stuff we've given away in 1 week. So definitely stick around for that tomorrow, guys. It's probably going to be a little bit of a lighter stream. At 1:30, we're just going to hang out. Maybe we'll do an AMA. Maybe I'll read comments. I don't know. We're going to have a good time and just celebrate 50,000 subscribers with the Mafia, the best crypto community in the cryptoverse. Let's go. But anyway, let's see who we got in here. Speaking of the Candle Mafia, we got Mark Dutch in the house. What is going on, bro? Hashtag free Willie. Hashtag free VSlim. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Thank you for being here. We got French Toaster in the chat. We got VSlim. Darren does things as always. Saying Mark Dutch in the house in the birthday suit. Oh God, Mark, put some clothes on, my friend. Shout out to you, bro. We got Tanner A in the chat. What is going on? Bubba's Crypto as always. We introed so hard. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Thank you for being here. Absolute OG. Carl says, please don't waffle for 15 minutes. I lost it. Let's hit that juicy TA. Shout out to Carl. Carl Waffle is what we call him. Shout out to Carl. Thank you for being here, bro. We got Armin. What is going on, Armin? Beffed up in the house. DeFi and Ryan showing those candles. Let's get it. And last but not least, we got Dark Crash saying, drink some water. I don't have water, but I do have Aztecian Cactus, Moss Water, Dark Crash. Shout out to Cheeks for gifting those 10 Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for that. Guys, show Cheeks some love. Yeah, let's go. Memberships are through the roof lately. Shout out to Dave Digital in the chat. Tyler Rayburn, Flat Smack, and our Monty, Eric Ward, Tyler Durden. Guys, don't forget our mods. Show our mods some love in the chat. They make my life so much easier than it used to be, and I would be lost without them. So show them some love in the chat. And with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump straight on in to the charts. Here we go. I'm actually going to drink the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water today, guys. Lately, I've been taking 2 sips and leaving it, but I think I need the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water today. But let's go ahead and jump right into the TA here, guys. Move this to a little bit of a safer location, and let's go ahead and dive in. Guys, we basically seen almost exactly what we wanted to see here. Not quite, but almost. But let's go ahead and jump on down to the weekly, or up to the weekly, I should say. Now, obviously, guys, we do have the weekly bear div. I'm not really going to cover this too much because we've covered it a lot, right? And the weekly doesn't really move. Weekly looks the same as yesterday and the day before and the day before. Weekly bearish divergence, red dot printing. This is going to likely, unless we get some kind of a big pump to the upside, this will confirm in about 4 days and 3 hours. Shout out to Hannah King in the chat. The princess of the Candle Mafia. Welcome in, Hannah. Good to see you. Skywalker, let's go. But bearish divergence, guys, this could potentially give us a bigger move down, which has obviously been my sentiment for over a month, right? And again, I'm not really flipping, super bearish until we break these lows at 25,000, around 25,000. We start losing these lows, guys. That's where I start to look a little bit further down for Bitcoin, right? So other than that, nothing really has changed on the weekly. Higher time frames still looking the same. Money flow starting to come out here. Bearish divergence confirmed on the 6-day. Bear div confirmed on the 5-day. Your 4-day is also confirmed with a bear div. Money flow starting to roll out. 3-day, same thing. Money flow crossing over into the red on that 3-day time frame. This would indicate, guys, money flow indicates the longer-term trend. Now, again, if we do get a continued move up here, I am going to be more comfortable shorting the lower highs in the medium term, not the long term. In the long term, I'm looking for price. Let's come up to a fresh chart here. Shout out to Chainlink. In the long term, I am expecting potentially to have this uptrend continue, right? This weekly uptrend, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. But typically you're going up, right? Straight uptrend. You got your low, your high, your higher low, your higher high, your higher low, your higher high, right? So I do think even if we do get a continued pump to come in here, and we'll talk about some of those levels. Once again, we looked at them yesterday and they really haven't moved, but we will take a look at some of those levels I would expect a rejection from. We are very, very close to one of them. But if we do get a continued move up, guys, I will be more comfortable shorting the lower highs rather than looking for this moonshot long to go up to, break these yearly highs. And the reason for that, obviously, is going to be money flow. 2-day money flow crossing into the red. 3-day money flow crossing into the red. Weekly bearish divergence printing, right? So if we are going to see this stuff continue to play out, this is just the money flow is basically one of the main reasons daily money flow is now crossing into the red once again. This could indicate that the downtrend is likely to continue. So sentiment remains the same. 12-hour money flow back in the red, 16-hour money flow kind of bing-bonging around here, but this might be a fake out into the red or into the green. It might be a fake out into the green before we come back into a bigger red wave. So that is another thing to keep an eye on. But because of all of these things, guys, I will be more comfortable shorting these lower highs rather than looking for absolute moonshot longs. So that's my general sentiment. And obviously, we did talk about that long position we took or that I was in. We looked at it on the live stream last night. And that obviously wound up coming up into profit. Yesterday, we were kind of just sitting there in no man's land. But here is that position. I've already taken profits. I got hit with some fees on that one. But I've taken a little bit of profits. Not really that much, right? I really haven't hit any of my legitimate take profit levels. We can talk about those when I pull up the chart in a second. But I haven't really hit any of my legitimate take profit levels. That's why I didn't really take too much off the table. I just wanted to get it in the green and make it a risk-free, guaranteed winning trade. Even if I get stopped out down here, I will still be in profit. I will not really be looking to take heavy profit until we hit my target, which I will talk about in just a second. Obviously, this trade tool is much different at this point. My stop loss is now down here or up here. And you might be thinking to yourself, how are you at break even if your stop loss is below your entry, right? And it's basically because I've already taken profit, right? So, even if I lose, whatever I lose on this stop loss, I will still be left with technical profit. But it's negligible for me, to be quite honest. Like, it's going to barely be in profit by the time I get stopped out. But the idea here is not, this isn't, I'm not looking to walk away with this money, right? I'm just looking to not lose money if I lose the trade. But again, we haven't really come up to my target yet. So I wasn't happy taking the profit here. So I was going to wait, or I am hoping to potentially get a bigger move up. If not, I will get stopped out at break even. And then we will obviously be looking for shorts. But still in profit, up 11%, not too bad. Still, not pretty lackluster. Just really waiting for this thing to pop a little bit more. But it is in the green. And obviously, guys, I will go over why I entered this trade, and how we were able to predict that we were probably going to get a pump here. And that is on Femex. If you guys want to sign up and long or short your favorite Bitcoin or favorite altcoins. There is only one favorite Bitcoin. But if you guys want to sign up to long and short your favorite coins like I am right now, go ahead and check out Femex. We got a link in the description down below. The mods will probably share our link as well. We always got deals going on with for the CandleMafia, especially when it comes to Femex. We love Femex. So go check them out. But with all that being said, I do want to. You will also help support the channel if you like the content, you like the free education we give here every single day. If you use our affiliate link, it will go ahead and help us out just a bit. Help us keeping this content coming for you guys every single day. But let's go ahead and continue on here, right? So 16-hour money flow kind of bing-bonging around, but we did confirm that green dot. If we come on down here to the 1 hour, remember this was something we were looking for as we print a red dot now on the 1 hour. But something we were looking for, guys, here was that green money flow crossover on the 1 hour in cooperation, I should say, with the 16-hour green dot, which sometimes does give us a decent move to the upside. And you can see we did get that green dot. We did have the money flow crossover on the 1 hour right before we got this push to the upside. But it does look like we might want to cool off just a little bit here coming up pretty soon. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual key levels we have to be keeping an eye on. And obviously, guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of this blue box real quick because we've already bounced off this level. But obviously, guys, our general thought process here for this trade will be, right, and I do think we are likely to look at the money flow on the 4 hour, guys, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we obviously were looking for a potential breakdown of this sideways range that we were in for about a month, right? This is not news to anybody. We were stuck in this range for forever, right? And then we were looking for a potential breakdown below this range because of the way the higher time frames were looking. It did look more likely that we would get a breakdown before we got a break up above these highs at about 31.4, and we finally got it. We basically waited, I would say, once we saw the money flow, like even from all the way here, like the money flow was coming out on the 4 hour, right? Money flow coming out on the 4 hour. We had many signals that were indicating we would break down below the range, and we just got dragged sideways. And the money flow continued to come out for quite some time, and then finally, we got the crossover that we were looking for, and it finally did break to the downside, which, I've been saying this a lot. It makes me feel a lot less crazy for harping on that so long, saying money flow very rarely lies. I'm sticking to my guns. I think it's going to break down, and we finally got it, right? Thought we were going to be wrong right here, and I was like, oh, God, we're going to be so wrong. We're going to be so wrong, and then boop, it played out. And the reason I bring this up, guys, is because I want to talk about why I got into this long. We were expecting this breakdown from the range, and if we did get that breakdown, which wasn't guaranteed, but if we did get that breakdown, what were we looking for? Well, we were looking for a move down to about 28.8K, which is this level right here is at about $28,830. So we did front run the level just slightly. But why were we looking at this level, guys? Number one, it is the value area low of our macro range. And by macro range, I mean this white box. We have our value area high up here at 31.4, our point of control up here at about 30,267. And then, and then our value area low down here between 28.8K and I would say 28.6 would be, there is another value area down there as well. So I am looking at this as kind of a range, but we did wind up bouncing off of this first level here. And one of the nice confluences we have on this level is, if I can get this range to pull, right here, this value area high. This is another reason we were looking at this level, right? Because this level at 28,845 was also the previous value area high of our old range from back here. And as we know, guys, a lot of times when price leaves a value area like it did here, we rejected that POC, came down, right? And where do we bounce off of? A lot of time when you leave a value area, price will go retest a previous value area high if you're going to get another bounce. So this is usually a very, very strong level to watch, and that is essentially where we bounced off of. Now, we were not just looking here for a random long position if we came down to this level, guys. What we saw here was a bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you got your notebooks, guys, take notes here, right? We came down to our key level, and this is how we trade, guys. We look for our key level. That is our trap. We set our trap and we sit on our hands and we wait for price to come down to our trap, even if it takes a month to get to that trap. You sit on your hands until you come down to your trap, you look for your confirmations, and then you pull the trigger. And for us, right, coming down to this was our key level of support, obviously also watching this lower level down here at 28,670, but we wound up putting in lower lows on our price, with higher lows on our momentum waves, giving us that bullish divergence on the 4-hour with money flow coming up here. This is one of the big reasons why I did not close my long, guys. Obviously, during the FOMC meeting, things were a little dicey, right? We did have this somewhat of a bear flag forming, right? If we draw this as a bear flag, you could see like, oh my God, this is bearish consolidation. We talked about this yesterday, talking about how, oh my God, bear flags break down. But I don't really pay much attention to the patterns. Now, I do take it into consideration. So when I sat down at the chart today, this looked a little bit more bearish, right? You have a bear flag. They do break down more often than they break up. I'm not saying the patterns don't work, but it's not always 100%, and a lot of times with the patterns, guys, you do get a fake out and then have them play out. So it's not just, there's a lot of people on like TikTok and, there's actually these very specific accounts that they basically go in bar replay mode. They find a bear flag or a bear pennant or whatever, and they find one that plays out like a textbook bear pennant, and they just show you like, look how easy trading is. You wait for price to do this, and then when you see a bear pennant, you short, and then it goes down, and then you make money every single time. Now, granted, you 100% can make money pattern trading. I'm not saying it doesn't work at all. It's just not simply that easy that every time you see a bear flag, you short and make money. And this is a perfect example of that, right? So even though we had this bear flag, and we talked about it last night, you didn't see me panic closing my long, right? Because this bear flag doesn't really invalidate my long idea. We came down to key support. We got my confirmations. This bullish divergence was one of them, amongst many others. And all my confirmations were there. So I took the trade. My entry is at about 29.50. So I'm in basically at the bottom of this little range. And it wound up pumping, right? And again, that was why we were looking to get into that trade. Again, amongst other more specific confirmations on the lower time frames, but generally, you came down to key support, you got your higher lows on your momentum waves, you got your lower lows on price, your money flow was coming up. It made it more often than not, it made it more likely than not that you were going to at least get some kind of a push to the upside here. Now, does that mean that I'm going to hold this to 100K? Absolutely not. Like I said, looking at the longer time frames or the higher time frames, I'm actually expecting any of these moves to the upside. I am more comfortable waiting for price to come up, and then looking for shorts at some of these levels that we could potentially make a lower high in. So, again, but that doesn't mean that you can't profit off the bounces to the upside, right? Because we make money whether the price is going up or down. So why not profit on the way up and then look for the shorts, take your profit, and then look for the shorts to the downside and just profit both ways. A lot of people like to wait for the bull run to make money. I, for the love of God, can't figure out why, because we can just make money whether we're going up or down, right? So you just make money on the move down and then make money on the move up, or vice versa in this case. So there you go, guys. That's kind of what we were looking at for that trade. And just a really good example of how, and it's not just patterns, guys. Nothing plays out 100% of the time, right? It's not that just patterns don't always play out as you think they would, but just anything in TA. Anytime you're looking at the charts, not everything is going to play out exactly as you would think. And that's why, although we were looking at this morning and do take it into account, you don't just bet the farm on this one thing, right? So there you go. However, where is price going to go in the short term here, guys? This is kind of how we wound up here, how we got into that trade. I want to talk about the levels of resistance above us, but also I want to talk about where we're going to go in the short term, likely, right? Not a guarantee. But take a look at the daily, right? VWAP coming back up towards that zero line. Now, this VWAP does look like it wants to print a green dot, potentially in about an hour and 51 minutes. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if we're going to get this today. If we don't get it today, we'll likely get it tomorrow. And I do think if we do get this green dot, especially tonight, it could potentially push us up a little bit higher into some of our key levels, which we will touch on in a second. But I would be very cautious of this potentially not printing right now. And the reason for that is the lower time frames. Look at the 4 hour here. This 4 hour, the money flow, though, the money flow looks saucy, guys. As you know, the money flow crossover into the red was what we were looking at for a potential move down. But obviously, this is kind of played out. We got our move to the downside. We bounced, and actually right on that move down, as soon as we bounced, that's when money flow started to recover, right? So this means that, we're probably found a bottom here on the money flow, and it may be able, once we get this crossover into the green, to continue us to the upside. So in the medium term, I do think if this money flow crossover happens into the green, I do think this can continue, again, to some of our key levels of resistance that I would be looking to short those lower highs at. However, if you come down here, VWAP is very overextended here. We could see this start to roll over pretty soon, which would indicate a short-term pullback, right? 2 hour, VWAP coming down, looking for the red dot. This could indicate a short-term pullback. And, again, 1 hour right here, red dot is looking to print very, very soon, which could likely cool us off as well. So in the immediate short term, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a cool off back down to some lower prices before getting that 4 hour money flow to actually cross over into the green. So the 4 hour money flow does look good, but once this 4 hour VWAP comes down, crosses over that zero line, we may get dragged into the red a little bit more, but generally over time, we will be making a trend to the upside, which in the medium term would indicate that this trend could potentially continue up. So let's talk scenarios. Let's say we do get right, and again, even if you come down to the 45-minute red dot printing, let me go ahead and pull that up. Yeah, red dot printing on your 45-minute. Not, again, indicative of a cool-off, but look at your money flow. Money flow's coming up. That is a good sign. And when you have a money flow crossover into the green, I'm going to mark this out real quick. Money flow crosses over into the green on this red vertical line. Come on over to the 12-hour. You can see that happened right on the green dot printing on the 12-hour. And we talked about this yesterday, guys. We talked about this yesterday with the 12-hour green dot, and the 45-minute money flow was coming to the upside, looking to cross over into the green. This was one of those things we were looking at that was making me feel confident that our long would likely play out to some degree. And just to point this out, money flow crossover right here into the green, right on your 12-hour green dot on that exact candle. And what happened in the next candle? Boom, right to the upside. Please take notes if you are unfamiliar with that strategy, because it plays out more often than it doesn't. And also, we were looking at our 16-hour green dot and our 1 hour money flow crossover into the green, which happened over here. This one, I don't believe, lined up. Let's see. Yeah, money flow crossover into the green there. I don't think this was not on the green dot, but that 12-hour, 45-minute did wind up playing out. And again, that money flow crossover in the 45-minute was basically a beautiful entry to get that rip to the upside if you weren't getting in where I got in down here at the bottom of the range. So this is a pretty good sign, especially that our money flow is still looking strong even with this red dot. So if we are going to cool off here, guys, I do think there's a chance that we can continue to the upside. And if we do cool off, some of the key levels I would look at to the downside, this is assuming that we're not going to get a big breakdown. This is in the case of this being a healthy cool off before continuing back to the upside. I would be looking at the local value area high because as we just talked about on the higher time frames, price does oftentimes like to get a move down to test that value area high before getting a decisive move up. So this would be definitely a level I am looking at. And then also, once we get down to this level, it will give you context into whether we're going to get accepted back into this range and potentially come lower, or if we're going to hold support and come higher. So if you start losing this level, guys, and you come below this value area low and you get stuck, this is likely going to be where you get a bigger move to the downside. So this is going to be a very, very key level to watch. Once you start decisively losing it, that's where you start to get worried. And hey, maybe that long won't play out anymore. And that pump up to here, $29,678 was kind of all the gusto we were going to get out of it. So there you go. Again, volume profiles not only giving you good levels to look at, but also context into what will happen if a level is held or broken. And you can see here, guys, like you hit the POC, hold support on the value area low, you come to the value area high, back to the POC, back to the high, back to the low, back to the high, back to the POC, high, POC, flip. Look at this flip to support, guys. Let me zoom out. Grab our brush. Right? You almost lost it here. But you basically hopped up here, flipped the value area high to support, and this is where you're expecting the move up. Boom. Right? So very, very similarly, if we come down, just look for support on this level. If you lose it, I would expect a potential bigger move down. And then maybe that will basically let us know that we're not going to get a push into the actual key levels that we have, and the short entry might have been up here. But again, with the way money flow looks like on the 45-minute, I do think it could be a healthy correction. But let's go ahead and pull a fib here, guys. I'm going to pull it not from this scam wick. I'm going to pull it from this candle right here to the high. And you can see here, you could probably draw this as a box. Our 786 in perfect confluence with the value area high. Obviously, you want to keep an eye on the golden pocket as well. This would kind of be the first box of support I'd be looking at. If we are going to continue the trend up, I would look to find some support inside of this blue box. Shout out to Benjamin Calls. Shout out to Metabytes. Pull your fib, baby. Pull your fib. Let's go. Shout out to Tanner A. We got Gears of Crypto. Said, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? I don't know. Why are you looking at me? I have no idea. Why would I know? I have no idea. I would never know. I would not know. Guys, I have no idea who Satoshi Nakamoto is. I mean, no, I know Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know who that is. Stop asking. I swear. I don't know. Please don't lie detect me. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead. Falco said it's me. Shout out to Falco. Wick 589, are you up in here? Oh, there he is. I'm new. Could anyone tell me more about this XRP thing I heard about? It's a scam. It's like a meme coin. Shout out to Wick. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Wick 589. We're all Satoshi. That's dang right. Let's go. Hey, Crimson. What's going on, Crimson? Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. The naked charts on the higher hourly just look like a simple bearish retest of a previous zone of support. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. We're going to take a look at that right now. But let's go ahead and see what we got going on here, right? So I would look for a potential cool-off. If we are going to get a bounce and we're not going to get a big breakdown, I would look for support at the value area high 786 or that golden pocket retracement level. Now, with that being said, let's talk about those key levels if we do get the continued move up. If we do get a continued move up, obviously we are looking at this purple box, which has a two value area lows. It has our we have our more medium-term value area low from this range, which comes very, very close to the local POC here. But we also have our local value area low and our local POC in this area. So this is, let me actually pull this up just a little bit. So this is kind of the first level that I would look if we do get another move up. I don't know if we're going to get it, but if we do get another shot up here, guys, this is where I would look for a first rejection. Now, I will say this. if we do push up, this is not the strongest level in my opinion. Now, we could easily, a lot of times you like to bearishly retest the value area low before continuing down. And this would be a decent level to put in a lower high. However, when you're looking at the, let me pull this this golden pocket here from the high to the low. This is a little bit more of a stronger level for me, right? And actually, this didn't save from the stream earlier. This level here, I would say between the point of control at 30,300 and the top of this golden pocket at about almost 30,485. This is actually going to be a bigger level for me to look for a short. And the reason for that is this golden pocket is a little bit stronger of a golden pocket rather than like a hyper local one. And this way, it would just make more sense. We have the value area high here. We have the macro POC in this level. And you also have the previous super macro POC at about 30,150 in that area as well. So what I would really prefer to see here, I will get to that super chat in a second. I don't know if I got that out of context. Anyway, but if we get this, if we do get that continued move up, I would rather see a flip of this value area lower, this purple box to support, and a shot up to the value area high to actually look for those short entries within this purple box. So this is kind of the stronger short in my opinion because of what I just explained. It's also just a little bit more natural for me to look at shorts at a value area high rather than a value area low, because when you retest the value area low, you're kind of in that sketchy situation where it's like you're either going to reject, but it's also dicey because you could push up and flip it to support. So the value area high is a little bit of a better area to look in my opinion, not only because of the stronger levels within this purple box, but just because it's a local value area high. So if I had my way, my dream situation would be a pump above, is everything okay? I can't draw. Okay, I don't know what just happened there, guys. I'm getting hacked. But if we do get that move up, I would love to flip this to support and come up to this value area high and then look for shorts up at this level, right? And then look for shorts back down. And then that would be, if we come up to a higher time frame, this golden pocket is coming in at about 30,480. And pulling up a fresh chart here, coming to a higher time frame, 30,500, 30,480 again is just, is just going to be a bit of a better level for me, in my opinion. It does not mean that you're guaranteed to dump from there or anything like that. I believe this is that fib. But if we do wind up coming up like on something on like a higher time frame like this, yeah, I mean, those are the levels I would look for, guys, because you could potentially come up here and reject this golden pocket, which is in that area I just said, and that would be a decent place to reject as well. But yeah, those are kind of the main areas that I'm looking to reject, right? And it basically hasn't changed since yesterday. It's the value area low POC confluence or the value area high macro POC golden pocket confluence. Those are the two major levels. I just favor this level a little bit more because it's a little stronger. But there is no guarantee that we are 100% going to get up there. So just be aware of that. We could easily either reject from where we ripped down from here, or we could reject from that value area low if we make it up there. So there you go. But that's basically what we're looking for, guys. Almost exactly what I was hoping for. If we wind up coming up and rejecting here or here, it played out to a T exactly how I wanted it to, which, is likely not to happen, right? You don't always get what you wish for, but I will be very happy if that happens. Let's go ahead and continue on here, but that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, guys. I'll be honest, the Fed didn't really do much here. We got the little pump, but again, just want to point out, guys, regardless of the news that happened today or the FOMC meeting, whatever that did to price, right? We got this little push up. We were already long from down here for a completely separate reason, right? So you could say, the 0.25 basis, the 0.25 basis point raise was already baked in, right? And if you don't get a higher raise than that, a lot of times if it just gets the predicted rate hike, a lot of times that's already baked into price, and it sometimes is bullish. It's like neutral bullish, right? Because everyone already expected that to happen. So any dump is already kind of priced into the market, right? So you could think like, oh, that's why we pumped, which is valid. I'm not saying that's invalid. I'm just saying I think it's cool that we were long from all the way down here based off of only technical things on the chart, and we just happen to have, it work out the way we wanted to just looking at the technicals. So just super interesting there. Show me the charts, and I'll tell you the news. Let's go ahead and cover these super chats really quick. Shout out to Hannah King for the super sticker. Shout out to Hannah King. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you. One of our biggest supporters of the channel. That's why we call her the Princess of the Candle Mafia. Not to be confused with Jessica, our female Candle Mafia representative. But shout out to Hannah King. I appreciate you so much for all the support you give us. Shout out to Cheeks for gifting those 10 Frankie Candles memberships. And let me get these super chats. I saw an interesting super chat. Shout out to Thesis himself, said, I can't find French fried onions anywhere again. Hey, Thesis, you have trouble with the French fried onions. Yeah, and I don't really ever look for them in the grocery store, so I couldn't help you, but I think the Mafia helped you last time. So shout out to Thesis, his super OG of the channel. I appreciate you, bro, and hopefully you can find those fried onions. Second super chat from Thesis, and said, side note, every woman working at the grocery store right now is caked up like bruh. Shout out to Thesis himself, enjoying himself at that supermarket. Shout out to Thesis. Let's go. Let's see. Let's continue on here. I think it's about that time. How long have we been going for here? Yeah, if you guys, okay, shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob, says, David asks, please define what you mean when you refer to time frames in short term and medium term. That's a great question. I think this is where people get caught up. So I will explain that right now. Let me go ahead and clear this chart. Let me just make sure I don't have anything yes. Okay. So let me go ahead and explain that. Because the way you interpret time frames is very important, right? So it's kind of hard to explain, but look at it this way, right? On the weekly, I am bullish on the weekly. Why am I bullish on the weekly? For me, it could be a different reason for you, but for me, it's the money flow crossover into the green. These are typically and historically very, very bullish signals for Bitcoin. They are very rare. They do not happen very often. The only thing I would be careful of is it could be a fake out, right? So you come into the red, obviously you're in a bear market, money flow crosses into the red on the weekly, big dump to the downside. That was the bottom of the bear market. Money flow comes back up on the weekly, you continue up, you break out, and then once you get that money flow crossover into the green, that first money flow crossover into the green, the bear market bottom was in. And basically, we just wiggled sideways before coming up into our next parabolic bull run. Obviously, we did get this big dip down during March of 2020. We all know what was going on there. But I would argue that if you did not get that black swan event, you would have just been wiggling sideways in an accumulation phase before getting your big blast off into the bull run. But all of that was signaled, right? The bottom being in and the accumulation phase starting. Granted, this is the real accumulation phase that you would want. But this sideways accumulation phase was basically triggered or signaled by the money flow crossover on the weekly, right, into the green. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. So, and then we faked out into the red we faked out into the red a little bit here before finally getting your second crossover, which was very close to the halving, and then started the bull run. And now in our current price action here, you can see we got a fake out into the green here, back into the red, and now we're back into the green. So if this is indeed the money flow crossover that we're looking for, that would be very, very bullish. So until this money flow crosses over into the red, I am bullish on the weekly. And I think what might be confusing you or confusing a lot of people, but what David might be asking about or what might be confusing him a little bit is the fact that we have the bearish divergence on the weekly and the red dot confirmed, or the red dot printing as well, which would be technically a little bit more bearish. But because the money flow indicates the longer-term trend, this keeps my longer-term bullish sentiment. Meaning, if this money flow stays in the green, I will still keep my thesis that this is the bottom of the bear market and our uptrend, whether it rips us to the upside right now, or if we bing bong around here, or even if we come down and make a little bit of a higher low, I do think that as long as this money flows in the green, that this was the bottom of the bear market and most of the pain is over and it's just time to accumulate, right? So I'm bullish and bearish on the weekly. I'm bullish in the long term, meaning in terms of the cycle, this is very bullish. But in the short term, meaning over the next couple of weeks, week or so, right, we could continue down a little bit. So hopefully it is a little bit of a hard concept to understand, right? So when we're talking about time frames in that aspect, that's what I'm looking at, right? Short term bearish on the weekly, I would say about the next 2 weeks, I'd feel a little bearish, right? A week or so, until we see this VWAP turn back around. And then if the money flow crossed into the red on the weekly, then that's where you're like, okay, maybe we're going to come down a little bit more here. So there you go. But typically when just talking about time frames, for me, this is not necessarily a black or white answer. This is how I interpret the time frames. For me, longer term time frames are the weekly 6, 5, 4, 3 day, right? Like these higher daily time frames are long term. These take a long time to play out. So the higher daily time frames, or just the daily time frames in general, are a little bit more long term. And then the medium, it's hard, right? Everyone probably looks at this a little bit differently. For me, this is how I separate things: medium hourly time frames, higher hourly time frames, daily time frames. So this would be the daily. The 2 and the 3 day are like lower daily time frames, and then the 4, 5, and 6 day and the weekly are like the higher daily time frames. Then you move down to the hourly time frames. Your 8, 10, 12, and 16 are higher hourly time frames, and then your 8, 6, 5, 4 hour are medium hourly time frames, and then the 3, 2, 1 I kind of call lower hourly time frames. And then once you start getting into the minutes, these are, I just refer to the lower time frames, right? Usually like the 7, 5, the single digit minutes I consider micro time frames. So if you see me say, oh wow, it's looking really bullish on the micro time frames, I'm talking between the 1 and the 10 minute, right? And then, 12 to 30 minute are lower time frames, even the 45 minute. And then, the lower hourlies right here. Let me see. Can I draw? Okay. So the 1 minute to the 10 minute, this is micro, right? We'll just put an M, right, for micro. The 12 minute to, I would say, the 45 minute is lower time frames, right? Lower time frames. The 90 minute to the 2 hour, I would say, are the lower hourly time frames, right? That's lower hourly. And then the 3, 4, 5, and 6, sometimes the 8, I would consider medium hourly time frames. And then the 10 to the 16 are higher hourly time frames. The daily is kind of a thing of its own. And then, the higher daily time frames, I would say the 4, 5, and 6 day. But it really depends. Like, it's not like the technical name for the 1 minute through the 10 minute is the micro time frames. This is just how I interpret it. But really, the real question here, or the real question that should be asked here, or not really, I should just say, it's a hard question to answer because it's all contextual, right? Like on the weekly, if I was saying I'm short-term bearish on the weekly, just referring to the weekly as a time frame, you already know I'm thinking longer term in the grand scheme of things. But when I'm saying short-term bearish on the weekly, I'm shorter-term bearish on a higher time frame. It's very hard to kind of explain. And I know, okay, Mike Bennett said nicely explained. I appreciate that. It's a really hard concept. It's a very, very hard concept. But that's how I break it down, really, right? Like lower time frames, single-digit minutes, even the 10-minute, micro time frames. I'm not looking to get a swing long on the 5-minute, right? 12 to 30-minute, even the 45-minute, lower time frames. Even the 90-minute, lower time frames. 1 to 3 hour, lower hourly. 4 to 8 hour, medium time frames. 10 to 16, higher hourly. Daily to 4 day, or daily to 3 day, lower daily. 4 day through the weekly is longer term for me. Higher daily time frames is what I call them. So there you guys go. Green Day Prophet says, shout out to the mods. Shout out to the mods. I love the mods. They help me out so much. Give them some love in chat. We got to make some emojis for the mods. Shout out to Punk Hazard. Shout out to you, bro. Said, Frankie, I entered a 3x long on XRP at 44 cents. Took some profits at 76, bringing it to 2x. Bringing it to 2x. If it were you, would you close it fully or sit on it? Stop loss at 39 cents. We will take a look at XRP in just a second, and I will cover all those answers, or I'll cover all those questions when we start looking at it. But let's go ahead and continue on. This is why you tune into the streams every day. You will learn to speak CandleMafia, Frankie Candles. Shout out to Hannah King. Absolutely. We're here spitting that free sauce every single day at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. Oh, hey, Empowered by AI says, where's the likes, guys? Where is the likes? Oh, my God, we only got 200 likes, guys. Smash it up to at least 550. We're going for 600. We're going to go for 600 on today's live stream. If we get 600 likes, I'll spin that wheel 15 times. And yeah, guys, I'm going broke this week. I really am going broke. Like the only thing that we're not really giving away as money, although it would be, the free premium discords is the only thing that we're not losing money on. But yeah, we're happy to do it for the Candle Mafia. That's for dang sure. At Frankie Candles, I got my hat the other day, bro. And says I wear it everywhere. Shout out to Green Day Profits. So do I, brother. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So shout out to you. Congrats on getting the hat. I don't know if you bought it or won it, maybe. But shout out to you, bro. You probably won it if I had to guess. But if not, thank you for purchasing the hat. You guys can check out Tony D. If you could drop that merch link in the chat, that would be super, super helpful. All right, guys, throw in your altcoins if you want to see them. I don't know if I called that yet, but go ahead and throw in your altcoins if you want me to take a look at them, guys. Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes and let me know what coins we're looking at, and then we will go. Thank you, Tony. There, you guys. If you guys are interested in checking out the merch store, you can click that link in the chat. We got a bunch of really good stuff here. I'm not really going to cover this for very long, but we got T-shirts. We got the new Frankie Candles University shirt in black and white. We got all the classic Frankie Candles shirts, and we also have, I don't know why this is all the way at the bottom, but we got the hats in multiple different colors. So go check that out for sure. Help to support the channel. Help support the free sauce that I'm giving away. Keep the stove on and burning here for the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. But yeah, throw in your altcoins, guys, and then the Rob the Crypto Snob will count up the votes. And in the meantime, I will go ahead and check in on Ethereum, which did wind up getting a little bit of a pump ski to the upside. Very similar to Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look. And let's actually go back to our actual Ethereum chart here. And here we are, guys. Very, 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 very similar to Bitcoin. Although the ranges are a tad different. We had our rejection zones here on Ethereum from last night's live stream. How do we enter the giveaways? Shout out to Brooklyn. If that's your real name, Brooklyn, it's like one of my favorite names. Like when I have a kid, like naming your kid Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn is a cool name for a kid, and it's not just because I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? I just like that name. You call it Brooke, pretty cool. Shout out to Brooklyn though. To win the giveaways, Tony D, can you drop some instructions on? Because I don't want to mess anything up. If you could drop the instructions on how to win the giveaways on tomorrow's stream, but typically on our Friday live streams we do big giveaways. To enter into those giveaways, you just have to like and comment on the pre-recorded videos that we release, not the live streams. Not the live streams, but just the pre-recorded videos, our Sunday sauce videos or tutorial video. If you like and comment on those videos, that's where we pull the winners from. We used to give dedicated videos that you have to like, but it just got a little too complicated. So if you like and comment on the videos, you're entered in, right? So we just pull from basically that. So there you go. And then yeah, Tony, if you could let them know how you can how they can enter the giveaways for tomorrow, that would be fire. Thank you very much. But you guys can see here, very similar to Bitcoin, we had a very similar setup on Ethereum where we got a lower low on our price action with a higher low on our momentum waves, right into our key level of support. Right here, guys, right into our blue box. And we give these levels for free on the live streams every single weekday. And we got to move right into our blue box. We got the bullish divergence. Money flow coming up very similar to what we saw happen on Bitcoin. And we were looking for a move up into our purple box where we not only had our golden pocket 786 retracement, but also the point of control of our range. So we knew it was likely to at least get some kind of resistance here. Now, I did not trade ETH on this setup. However, we did wind up getting a nice move to the downside. Could have profited a nice little 1% move on some leverage is not bad. Throw a little 10x leverage on it, and you could turn that into a pretty decent bag of profit. And I mean, that's assuming that the move stops here and comes back up, could wind up playing out for more. So we did come up to that rejection zone almost perfectly, giving us that golden pocket, giving us that 786, and giving us that perfect rejection zone with the confluence of our point of control right in the middle of that level right here. Not in the middle, but like right in between them, looking pretty good. Now, taking a look at the indicators, let me go ahead and clear these lines. Whoops. Taking a look at the indicators, check out the 4-hour. Now, very similar to Bitcoin, VWAP starting to cool off here a little bit, right? Not impossible to cool off here a little bit more. But again, money flow on the 4-hour would indicate that the trend will continue. Unless it winds up coming out heavily, right? But once you cross into the green here, it is likely that this trend will continue to the upside. But again, when you come up to these higher hourly time frames, you could see we got a fresh crossover on the 16 and the 12-hour. Money flow kind of starting to come back up here, but once that VWAP rolls back down, we could cross back over into the red. Checking out the daily fresh money flow crossover into the red, this would indicate that that the trend will likely continue to the downside in the longer term, right? Back to the long-term, short-term stuff. Longer term, looking at the daily, the trend will likely continue down. But when you look at something like the 4-hour, which is a lower time frame, this would indicate the local trend continuing up. So even if this money flow crossover on the 4-hour happens and we and we get the continued trend to the upside, even if we come up to this value area high and reject, that would still be a decent place to put in a lower high to continue the macro trend down. So bullish short term potentially, but then really looking for bigger short positions back down. So that's kind of my sentiment here on Ethereum. Short term, I would look for the next move down to be on that 4-hour red dot. But again, with money flow, or this is the 3-hour, you could look at this time frame as well. They're very close to each other. 1 hour is probably very close to is printing a red dot right now. So yeah, but money flow coming up here in the short term. So again, I do think you can get similar to Bitcoin. You may get some retests of some local fibs here before continuing to the upside. So pulling our volume here. Let's pull it here. I don't know if I really like that. Let's pull it here. Yeah, so I would potentially... Yeah, I would watch right here. Whoops. I would watch... What am I doing here? I want a box. There we go. So I would watch this golden pocket / value area high / 786. This could be a decent place to get some support. Let me go ahead and move this in a little bit. So if we get a move down, I would look, or as it is starting to spill a little bit, as we get a move down, I would look for support within this blue box. If you lose this 786, I would consider that an acceptance back into this range. If you decisively lose that 786, I would say, hey, you might be getting accepted back into this range, and that is where you're expecting a move down, potentially back down to your POC at $1,846. And yeah, just almost this very, 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 very similar to what we were looking at on Bitcoin, just a different asset, right? So that would kind of be where I would be looking for some support. And then let's see here. I guess that is the fib that I pulled. Yeah, that's what I'd be looking at, guys, on Ethereum. And then, again, like just acceptance back into this range would be the indication that we're going to come a bit lower. But again, until this money flow on the medium time or on the lower or medium hourly time frames, 2-hour money flow coming up locally, 3-hour money flow coming up locally, 4-hour money flow coming up. This does make me think we could potentially get back, back up above this POC at some point, but we'll have to see what happens. So there you go, guys. Beautiful rejection right off of our level from yesterday. Absolutely love it. Yeah, almost tapped that POC to the dollar. But yeah. That would be kind of the next levels I would be looking at for Ethereum. And let's see. Oh, yeah, it's Rob's birthday. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Shout out to Dave Digital, said thighs for the win. Dave, what about calves, bro? What about calves? Dude, I thought we bonded over our calves. Now you're a thigh guy? Shout out to Dave Digital. I'm just kidding, bro. I don't know what that is. Shout out to Hang on. I read those backwards, guys. Thesis says chicken breasts are dog water, thighs only. Shout out to Thesis himself. I don't know if I have a preference on that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know if I really have a preference on that. But shout out to Thesis himself. Chicken breasts are dog water. And then Dave Digital says thighs for the win. FT Dubs, let's go. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for those super chats. I appreciate you guys. Altcoins are in and being counted. And now they're out. I had to catch up there. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. The altcoins for tonight are going to be ETH, XRP, Link, Quant, Solana, and Gala. So shout out to you, Rob. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. I want some more of that bear market $800 ETH, though. Shout out to Wick589. So do I. So do I, bro. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get some black swans. You never know. Matcha or Maca says, Macachino. Shout out to Macachino. Says, Father Frankie, any ideas on some macro trades on XRP? You legend. Shout out to Maca or Matcha. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We're going to take a look at XRP. Is that on the list? Thighs, bro, all the way. I'll take thighs. Fried calf and gizzards. Shout out to Dave Digital. Yeah, I wonder if calf. Yeah, I guess chickens don't have calves, right? Do calves have calves? Calves probably have calves. I don't know. I don't know the anatomy of a baby cow. Shout out to the baby cows. Yeah, shout out fried calf and gizzards. Shout out to Thesis and Dave. But guys, let's go ahead and move on. No cappuccino after 12 noon. What about the Aztecian cactus moss water, though? Oh, God, that bubbled down. Okay. Oh, that went too fast, guys. Bubbled. Whew. Oh, God. Okay, continuing on. Oh, God, that was bad. That almost went everywhere. Do you guys remember when I spit that fizzy stuff all over the place? That was legendary. That was Frankie Candles versus, I don't remember what that stuff was called. That was bad. That was bad. I almost spit everywhere. Tanner A said, get your inhaler. Guys, I don't use an inhaler, I swear. Never mind. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and continue on here. I wasn't going to pull an inhaler out of my pocket, guys. I wasn't. Frankie's got a drinking problem. Yo, shout out to Wick. All right, let's see. Continuing on here, let's go ahead and take a look at coin numero uno. Let me go ahead and pin Rob, the Crypto Snob's message here. I'm sure XRP was on the list. Yes, XRP is on the list. So, Punk Hazard, this is your time to shine, my man. Let's take a look at XRP first. Let's go ahead and pull it up. 71 cents. It is sitting exactly where we were sitting earlier today during the FOMC stream. But, guys, my sentiment remains the same as it was earlier this afternoon during our FOMC stream. And the idea here is that you want to hold your value area low. Not only is it your value area low, but it's also the POC of your more local range here. If you're able to hold support above that value area low at about 70 cents, 71 cents, I would say about 70 cents. If you hold above this level, guys, that is going to open the door to potentially get a move up to your POC right up here at about 75 cents. And then I really wouldn't be too concerned until you start losing not only the local, the bigger value area low here at 71 cents, hang on a second. Let me get rid of this local range. Yeah, value area low sitting at 70 cents. Yeah, value area low at 70 cents. I think I was looking at 71 cents. It's going to change depending on what time frame you're looking at. However, right here at 70 cents, if you're able to hold above this level, because remember how the volume profiles work, guys. You leave bearish retest, you get a move down. If you're able to get some kind of confirmation to enter a long here, you're looking to potentially get above the value area low, hold it as support, and then get accepted back into your range. Back into your range. And if you hold support above that value area low, the next likely place for XRP to go is going to be that point of control, which is also in confluence with the local golden pocket here. So if you do come up here, I would be looking for some resistance, but then if you can get above that POC, I would potentially look for a move up to your value area high. Now, you do have your 786 up here as well, which could be a level to reject from. Maybe you come up to your golden pocket would be the first area I would look for a potential scalp short. 786 would be the next area I would look for a potential scalp short. So there you go. That is kind of what I would look at on XRP. Looking at the indicators, it's going to be looking very, very similar to a lot of this other stuff. Short term, immediate short term, like that. I mean, like for the rest of the stream and, you know, right when we get off the stream. 2-hour VWAP coming down. 1-hour VWAP also coming down, looking for the red dot, very similar to a lot of these other coins. And this would indicate a short-term pullback. If you get the short-term pullback, the levels I would look to hold, grab this level. I'm actually going to delete this level. The levels I would look to hold when you pull your fib from the low to the high, You have a little bit of confluence here, potentially. I mean, actually, let me pull this. Yeah, it depends on where you want to pull it from. If you want to pull it from the immediate impulse, your 786 is in perfect alignment with that value area low. If you pull it from the absolute bottom of the move to the high here, you have a little bit of a range right here. So I would look, if you get a deviation below this value area low, I would look to get a bounce off of your 786. Let me label this. I would look for a bounce off the 786 and the local golden pocket here, as well as the value area low. So if that 1 hour red dot prints and pulls us back even more, I would look for a bounce off the value area low. If we get a deviation below, I would look for the golden pocket bounce. I would also look for the 786 bounce, right? So not getting overly bearish if we lose this range just yet because of the money flow. The money flow tells the story that this local uptrend may continue, right? Money flow indicates the longer-term trend, right? So this VWAP would just indicate noise in the market, right? This is how I explain the VWAP versus the money flow. When your VWAP comes down, like this, look for the red dot. If you get the red dot, it is likely to be an ebb or a flow down. But with your money flow wave in the green here, or in my case, the blue, if we come into a bigger blue wave here, that red dot is likely just going to be a short-term cool-off before continuing and breaking the highs to come a little bit higher. And then maybe by that time, you get a green dot, price pumps a little bit, and then once you get up to this purple box, maybe that VWAP rolls back over to print another red dot. And then I would expect another move down. But if money flow is still continuing up, I would expect price to make a higher low and continue back up and potentially flip the POC, right? So that's what I would look for. Short term, money flow looks good. VWAP looks like it wants to cool off. So I would expect a short-term pullback, but as long as money flow stays in the green, I would look for a continuation up. And that next key level is your golden pocket point of control confluence at about 74, almost 75 cents. So there you go. Bing bong. Shout out to XRP. Now, if you are to get a bigger breakdown here, now if you look at the higher time frames, guys, looking at the higher time frames, XRP does look a little different than the other assets, right? Because Bitcoin, money flow is coming out pretty aggressively on these higher time frames. The daily's coming out on XRP as well. The 2-day is coming out. I mean, actually, XRP looks kind of similar. You got the 3-day red dot, right? Money flow on your 3-day is also starting to roll over here. What's the weekly look like? Weekly looks like it wants to cool off as well. Taking a look at the daily, VWAP coming up. But money flow, yeah, money flow is not looking too hot. 16-hour money flow coming back up, 16-hour money flow coming up, or 12-hour money flow coming back up. Yeah, kind of wish-washy here on the money flow, I'll be honest with you guys. So I would actually keep an eye on these higher time frames. I'd look at the daily green dot. It could be the thing that gets you up to your POC. So if you're looking for a move up to the POC, I would look for the daily green dot. If you wind up getting that push into the POC, I would look for a potential rejection because of the way money flow looks on these higher time frames. 2-day coming out. 3-day red dot printing. Yikes, with money flow coming out. So again, locally, as your daily green dot is trying to print, maybe your money flow comes up on the 2-hour. You get that push up to the POC, right? But then once you get up here, be very cautious because those higher time frame money flows might be calling for more downside. It is a little less clear on XRP. I will be honest with you guys. However, if you get a bigger breakdown, let's just talk levels here. If you break this range to the downside, right? Actually, I'm going to keep that 786 level up there. I'm going to label it 786. But if you get this bigger breakdown and we wind up decisively losing the range, right? You lose this range, cannot get back above it. I'm looking down here to this blue box, local golden pocket retracement level. This is the golden pocket of the entire move up. So if we get a move down here, this is a very, very key level to watch, guys. Definitely going to be an area where I would be looking to add to my bag or looking for fresh long positions. If we break below that, next level of support will be the 786 previous value area high confluence, which is right here on this blue box. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at on XRP. Look out for a short-term cool-off. If you're able to hold support here, I'd expect the trend to continue. If you lose it, looking back down to this next golden pocket. All right, so there we go. Let me go ahead and catch up on chat here. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you, Tony, for pinning that comment. Frankie, please be okay. Shout out to Hannah King. Thank you for the super chat. Said, Frankie, please be okay. I'm not ready to take over the CandleMafia yet. That being said, when you are ready to hand it over, the reins are. When you're ready to hand over the reins, I'm here. Shout out to Hannah King. the princess of the Candle Mafia. Yeah, almost lost me here. Almost lost me here on the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. But what a better way to go out. Is there a better way for Frankie Candles to go out than losing it to a little bit of Aztecian Cactus Moss Water? Shout out to Hannah King. We appreciate you so much. And another super chat from Hannah said, Dave will help me. Right, Dave? And Dave said, nothing. Oh, God. Dave is not on board, Hannah. Dave is not on board. Shout out to Cheeks. Said, if you pull your fib on Bitcoin 1 hour, 1 hour from the 24th before the dump to the low, would this be considered a retest of a local golden pocket, or is it valid or invalidated? Let me go ahead and check that out for you. Let's see. Let's see. Bitcoin. The Bitcoins. Let's check it. Whoops. Let's go ahead and see. All right, so pull your fib on the 1 hour from the 24th before the dump. I assume this is what you're talking about. Yes, 100%. Yes. And this was actually I think we were looking at this yesterday, but again, your value area low up here. I don't know if you're gonna get a full rejection from this, but 100%. I will just answer your question here and not confuse you any further. Shout out to Cheeks, 100%. You can 100% pull that fib. This is 100% well, you broke the golden pocket, but you tested that 786. So if you were looking at your chart, let me pull up the fresh chart. If you were looking at your chart, in my book, right, as far as I'm concerned, if I was looking at the 1 hour, this is a fib that I'm looking at, right? Like this would be a fib that I would look at. Pull it to the low. And if you were, let's say, you dumped here, this is 100% a level you can look at, right? So if I were looking at this, if this was current time, I would draw a box in this rejection zone right here, right? Just like this. And I would sit on my hands and see if we can get a move up into the rejection box, right? And then if I got bearish confirmations in here, something like a bearish divergence or CVD divergence, absorption, something like that happening, some kind of entry signal up here, I would look to take a short. So this is 100% a valid place to look for a rejection. And obviously, if you play it through, you get the move up. Come on. Boom, boom, push it, boom. And you tested the golden pocket, and you tested the 786, and now you get a little reversal. However, I would look for a stronger rejection off of, like, this might just be a little scalp short that you can catch before breaking through and testing that higher fib level pulled all the way from up here, which I think is the one that I had on the chart from up here, from the actual full swing to the downside. This may be a stronger level, but there's also no guarantee we come up to this level, right? So this is why you got to look at multiple levels, right, or multiple rejection zones, if you will. But the reason I like this one a little bit better, is if you pull your, what? No, not the anchored. That's not what I want. God, they added this anchored volume profile, and I'm not saying I don't like the tool, but I used to just click here and go all the way to the bottom and click on fixed range because that's where the fixed range used to be. So I'm about to click this by accident 1,000 times a day. But if you pull your range here, the reason, I mean, and this is your value area low as well. Are we at current price right now? Yes. So on the Bitstamp chart, this is your value area low. So actually, no, I think this is the, hang on a second. Oh, it's because this isn't extended to the right. That's why. There we go. So we did test that value area low, technically. It's just not of the previous range here. But another reason why I would look at this one a little bit more, the reason I like this level a little bit more, I forget who asked the question. But is your POC is up here as well, right? And a lot of times you do like to go test that POC before a rejection, but that does not mean that we're not going to reject here. When you're looking at the fully extended value area to your current price, you are getting the value. We got the value area, the bearish retest on the value area low. So this could be an area to reject from for sure. So Cheeks, hopefully that helps you out. Shout out to Lucio Fernandez. It says, analyze child support. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, my God. What is this? Is this a meme coin based off child support? Shout out to Fernandez. Shout out to you, bro. I will check this in a second. But, yes, Rob the Crypto Snob said, Frankie Candles Crespo Crypto is here. Remember, you would do sand for him today. Yes, I do indeed remember that. But shout out to Cheeks. Definitely a legitimate place to get a rejection from. Let's see. What am I looking at? Sand. Let's go ahead and check out sand. I'm going to replace one of our altcoins here with sand, guys. Actually, maybe we could just knock them all out. Let's take a look at sand. Okay, so shout out to Crespo. Is it Crespo or it's Crespo? Shout out to you, man. We did not forget. I might have, but Rob didn't. So we got your back, bro. We're gonna take a look at sand right now. All right. So what I would do here is I'm gonna go ahead and pull the same range. We're looking on everything else. A lot of this stuff looks the same. Not really the same. But let's take a look at the daily on sand. VWAP coming up, so it does look very similar. 16-hour money flow is in the red, but you are looking for that green dot here. So maybe a little correction to the upside incoming. Green dot on your 10-hour. Money flow also crossing over at the same time. You might be able to get a little pump off that. 8-hour green dot money flow coming up. Let's check that 30-minute. Oh, baby. 30-minute money flow crossover is what I would look for a move to the upside. So there we go. If you get a move to the upside, I would look for that money flow crossover into the green. We do have the 8-hour green dot printing. We have a 6-hour green dot printing. 4-hour money flow coming back up. 2-hour, and then this all looks the same as everything else. 2-hour looking to cool off. So very, very locally. Yeah, this is a little bit of a mixed bag. Yeah, oh God, actually, sand is kind of all over the place right now. So I would look at this, right? I would actually not look at this macro. This is not the same. I'm going to pull this more local range. This is more the range. This is like the local range we're looking at on everything else. So this looks very similar to a lot of other stuff. Let me go ahead and extend this to the right. Yeah. So now we have context here, guys. You went from the low of your range all the way to the high, back to the low, back to the high. Deviation. Yeah, you got a bearish divergence here. So here's the thing. You have a key level of resistance here on sand, 43 cents. You got to get over that. If you can't get over this level, you are likely going to get a big move down. Not a big move down, but you're likely to come, right, we broke and deviated away from the range. And what happens when you deviate away from the range? When you deviate away from the range, you are looking for bearish confirmations, and you are expecting to get sucked back in towards the magnet. What is the magnet? The magnet is the POC, this pink line right here. If you break out, you're expecting to get sucked in back towards the magnet. You break below the value area high. If you cannot get back above this high, that's where you're looking for a move down to the value area low. And if you reject here at the value area high, I will say the 1 hour VWAP might be the thing that starts a move back down to the POC. But again, money flow is coming up. So I wouldn't really expect this red dot to absolutely nuke you. Right? I would expect it to come down and put in a higher low, potentially on that POC. Right? So if you pull your fib from this high to this low, you don't really get much confluence other than this right here. Right? So you have this level of you have this level of support down here, 786 living just below the range. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. But come down to a lower time frame, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see much of a better. Yeah, I would look for support on that point of control. But again, money flow is looking good. So if that 1 hour red dot, I would look for this 1 hour red dot to potentially bring you back down to the POC. If you do get down there, I would keep an eye on that 30-minute money flow crossover into the green to start another move up. So maybe that 1 hour cools you off. You come test this as support. As you're testing this as support, you look for bullish confirmations. If you get the bullish confirmations you're looking for, money flow crossover into the green will be a nice confirmation that you're able to get a bounce there. However, keep in mind that if you were able to get back above this level, you're probably not, like, the only way you're going to get down to that POC is if you get accepted back into the range and can't get back above the value area high. So this is your key level. This is going to hold the keys, and you can see, like, this is the bearish retest. Are you going to get that breakout? Like, are you going to get back above here, or are you going to get a rejection? Now, if you come down to the micro time frames, I don't necessarily see any entry signals, right? At least just looking at the candlestick chart. So, yeah, I would be careful here. I would that 1 hour red dot is likely to cool you off, but your key level is here. This is going to give you context into if you're going to be able to get a move up or continue the move to the downside, or I should say start a move to the downside. Let's see. Thoughts on DCAing in regardless of market action? Soul Harvester, great strategy. That's my opinion. Winning strategy, proven strategy, not the most exciting make $1 million in one day type strategy, but definitely a winning strategy, which is far and few between when you're trading a financial asset, especially one as volatile as crypto. So 100% DCA is the way, 100%. How I handle my portfolio, guys, is I DCA like crazy. Right? Most of my money is getting DCA'd into the market every single day very slowly. I buy a little bit every day, every week, every month, and that happens whether we're pumping, dumping, doesn't matter. And, we talk about this all the time, so I'm not really going to harp on this too much. But, for sand, coming up to a higher time frame, for sand, right, obviously we know we're in a bear market. Right, we've come all the way down. Where's 2021? We'll zoom out all the way. Right, like obviously sand has gotten a massive dump from the bull market. And when you DCA, even if you're DCAing in at these pumps, but you're also buying all the way, just DCAing it every week, every day, what have you, you're going to be dollar cost averaging your way down. And then your average buy-in price, sure, you bought these top of these green candles, and you guys will know, I always say, don't buy the big green candles or don't sell the big red candles. That is when we're talking about trades, right? Well, I guess it does apply to long-term as well. But for a DCA strategy, you don't care. You could start a DCA. Say you started DCAing here. You buy. Oh, no, we're pumping. It doesn't matter. You're just buying up here. Sure, you bought the top here. But then you're buying on the way down. And then your average buy-in price gets somewhere in between. You get a nice average buy-in price. And if sand, say, is going to break its last all-time high, and we're going to go up to way higher prices, are you going to care if you bought up here or down here? And it's not like you're putting your whole bag in up here. Your average buy-in is going to get you somewhere in the middle of this price action. So you got to generally fire entry into the market. So take that for what it's worth, right? DCAing is 100% a proven winning strategy. And for my long-term bag, guys, I don't really care if we're pumping or dumping, I'm buying, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, when you zoom out past the 5-minute chart, this is low, right? This sand right now is, where's our actual, I guess we're like right here. 95% down, right? So definitely not a bad time for me to DCA into sand. But I know a lot of people think that that's not a good strategy, and those people do think, if you wait to put your entire bag in at the bottom, you're gonna wind up buying on the way up. I can almost guarantee it. It's like clockwork. Everyone thinks, well, like I'm not gonna DCA. I'd rather wait for it to dump and then put my whole bag in. And then price is going to dump again, and you're gonna panic sell, and you're gonna wind up wrecking yourself. That's why DCAing. I don't even look at my DCA bots, guys. They just go. And I don't even know when I buy, where I buy. I don't even remember. I set the settings and I walk away because I'm not concerned about the long-term bags. Because, again, short-term trades, surely I am not buying up here on a short-term trade or longing up here, right? I'm waiting for a breakdown, right? So I'm looking for shorts up here. But for a DCA bag, you got to buy all over the place, and then you get a nice, average buy-in price. Just be careful out there. DCA is the way. All right, continuing on here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Link. Caught a fire Link short in the premium Discord recently. There it is. Played out in full. Actually had to find some more TPs on this one because it just kept dumping. But we were actually able to catch that nice little short position. About 12% entry up here at about $8.30 all the way down to about $7.30. Beautiful little entry and a move down there. Now we are getting a retracement, and where are we retracing to, guys? Let me hide the actual position. Where do we retrace to and where do we reject from? The previous value area low. And we talk about this every single day on the channel. A lot of times when you lose an area of balance, you will come back down and you will retest that value area low as resistance before continuing your move to the downside. Now, I'm not saying it's going to continue to the downside, but let's see. Let's go ahead and see what's going on the higher time frame. 16-hour green dot is looking to print. Money flow coming out, though. So looking similar to Bitcoin. Short term, I do think you could potentially see a little, well, Bitcoin looks, it's the time frame thing again. This is not really short term. So let's go down to actual short term. This is looking the same as Bitcoin in the short term. I do think you could continue to reject here. But with the way money flow looks on the 2-hour, the 3-hour, and the 4-hour, it does look like this trend could continue up. So if we get a move down, based off of the 2-hour red dot looking to print, the 1-hour red dot confirmed, I would expect some kind of consolidation here. Maybe some consolidation, maybe a little bit of a pullback, but with the way money flow looks, I do think you could continue the trend to the upside and potentially flip this value area low to support. This is sitting at about $7.80. Could potentially get that push up towards our point of control of the range. I know all these TPs are probably very confusing for you guys. This is kind of what we do in the premium Discord, guys. You get the spoon-fed setups, and then, you get the spoon-fed setups with the trade tool on there. And then you get the TPs and confirmations, and that's kind of how we roll. But let me go ahead and hide these take profits real quick. But yeah, that's kind of what I would look for on Link. Kind of short and sweet here. Again, looking very similar to Bitcoin. Rolling over to the downside on the lower time frames. Could cool off or consolidate a little bit. But with the way money flow looks on the lower time frames, I would expect the local shorter term trend to potentially continue up. Now, where would we likely reject if we get a big rejection? Well, what I would look for is, wow. I did not mean for that to line up. But I would look for this to be a local golden pocket to be watching, and I bet you if I pull this back to our old range that we were actually trading in here, let me unextend it to the right. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I didn't know it, but I assumed it. When we had this little local range going on up here, this is another value area low that you might want to go retest, and it is also the golden pocket retracement of the entire move down here. So this is definitely going to be a big level. If the uptrend does continue, this would be a big level to look for a rejection. So I'll make this purple. I would look for a potential rejection at this level on Chainlink if we continue up. So kind of my general sentiment here would be short-term cool-off, but a continued trend to the upside. And if it does happen, I would look for a rejection at this golden pocket / value area low for a bigger move to the downside, because you have to remember on the higher time frames, like the 16-hour, like the 12-hour, like the 2-day, like the daily, not really like the daily or the 2-day, but the 16 and the 12-hour money flow is coming out. So that would indicate, but the green dots are looking to print. So with the green dot on the 12-hour, that is likely to push you up. That could be what pushes you into this golden pocket. And then once you roll back over, if money flow continues to roll out here, that would indicate a longer-term trend to the downside, and this would be a beautiful place to put in a lower high. All right, let's go ahead and continue on here. Shout out to Tanner A. It says, do you have any suggestions on DCA bots other than KuCoin? I don't want to talk about it, Tanner. KuCoin hurt my feelings, guys. Oh, God, the bots on KuCoin are the best. I'm sorry. The KuCoin DCA bots are the best, guys. And the KYC thing is heartbreaking. I'll be honest. I'm sure I don't know. Currently, I will say this. We are, Frankie Candles is going to use any influence that he has to his advantage to try to get another really, really good DCA bot on maybe a different exchange. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull any strings, but we will be talking to some people about, maybe we could use some of our influence. Like, hey, I know a lot of people that would like this. Might be beneficial to add some features. But we're going to try to do that for the Mafia. But no, I do not know of an exchange that has as versatile of a DCA bot as KuCoin. KuCoin, you could set it to buy every hour, minute, day, every other day, every 3 days, every 3.5 days. You could pick so many different variables for all your different coins, so you could be a little bit more aggressive on your Bitcoin buys or a little more aggressive on your altcoin buys. It was just absolutely beautiful, and the way they display it with a live P&L is just absolutely beautiful. I think there are third-party softwares that you can use to link to an exchange to just buy over time. And kind of do something similar to what KuCoin does. But Yeah, it's just not as versatile. It's not as clean. They don't show you the live P&L. There are other DCA bots out there. They're just not as feature rich as KuCoin. It's just KuCoin is just goated with those DCA bots, man. But like I said, we're gonna try to fix that. There's Satoshi Glakamoto. He must have hurt his ear. Were your ears ringing, Satoshi Glakamoto? We were talking about you before. Shout out to you, bro. All right, let's continue on here. Let's check it out. Okay. Shout out to Rob. Thank you so much, bro, for I mean, you're just always on it, bro. You're always on it. Okay, let's continue on here. That was Link. Shout out to anybody in the premium Discord that caught that short. That one was absolutely sauced up. Let's take a look at Quant. Let's go ahead and zoom on out. And wow, I haven't used these fib settings in a long time. I don't know where that is from. But let's go ahead and pull this entire range. Yeah, Quant just still kind of chilling here, right? I mean, this is pretty long term, but yeah, this macro range has just been holding up. The lows have been holding strong. Yeah, green dot printed on your 3-day. Interesting, Quant. Red dot printed on your 2-day, but your money flow is coming up. Your daily. Oh, baby, is that a blood diamond? It's going to be a blood diamond? Come on, baby, give it to me. No, come on. Wow, how is that not a blood diamond? That shocks me like crazy. But let's see. Yeah, I would. Yeah, money flow crossing over. Money flow looks really good on Quant. The daily money flow, the 2-day money flow, not as pretty, but still coming up generally. 3-day, yeah, higher money flow, higher time frame money flow is not beautiful, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, 16-hour not pretty either. Oh God, man. I would be careful with Quant being a little sketch here. For the most part, money flow on the 6-hour, 8 hours coming back up. This one's a little harder to read, guys. I don't want to sound too confident. If I'm not. This is like one of the main things on my channel is like I don't want to like just try to say it's going up or anything, right? Like this is very unclear. Money flow generally coming up on the 8-hour, but you are coming out locally. That's not the prettiest money flow I've ever seen, right? Your 10-hour, on the other hand, actually looks pretty good with the green dot. 12-hour money flow, not looking good at all, right? So, like, when this is giving me mixed signals, I want to let you guys know that, like, it's not always very confident what price, it's not always a very sure thing of where price is going to go. And when things look confusing, I'm not afraid to tell you guys, like, this looks wishy-washy, right? Let's see. Thanks. No problem, Tanner A. I got you, bro. Shout out to Green Day Prophet. Said, Frankie, you're the man. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being here, bro. Don't thank me. I'm here doing what I love. But I appreciate you appreciating me. I appreciate you. Anyway, money flow. Yeah, this is a mixed bag, guys. 8-hour doesn't look pretty for money flow. Money flow. I would say this. Based off of the amount of time we've spent in the red here, I would assume that even though we faked out into the red, if we fake out again, I do think it's about time to spend some time in the green with your money flow. So I would say on the 6-hour, I would look for a potential money flow crossover into the green to continue here, which would indicate more upside. 4-hour money flow kind of flat here. Green dot printing, though, so locally you might come up a little bit more. 2-hour money flow generally coming out with your VWAP coming down. And guys, please note, I will say this. This has got mixed signals all over it. But look what happens. Like look at this money flow. Green, red, green, red, green, red, right? Like very choppy. And look at price. I think you probably continue doing this. If anything crazy happens, I would probably have to guess. Now, this isn't based off of any sure technical signal or anything. This is, I would say, if anything, if I had to take a random guess, just based off of the 10-hour money flow and the 8-hour money flow, even the 6, the 5. God, this one's hard, guys. The daily money flow looks good. Once this red dot plays out, I would be careful. I would expect some choppy garbage action, but once this red dot confirms and you get a fresh green dot on the daily, I would say if I had to take a random guess, once that green dot prints on the daily, if anything, if you're going to get a big move in either direction, I would wait for that green dot on the daily, and I would expect that to give us a big move up. But not very confident on that. There's not like a bunch of things pointing in that direction. It's just the most clear signal would be here on the daily money flow looking pretty good. Weekly, no information. 3-day, yeah, these 2-day red dot not looking that great. The reason I say wait for this red dot to play out on the daily is because the 2 days got a red dot, the 3 days looking for a red dot, so you got to be careful with this stuff. But money flow on the daily looks really clean. So once this, especially with the money flow crossover, once this red dot situates itself, if you still have that money flow in the green on the daily, I'd expect to move up, and that could start your journey if you could crack the POC at 105 bucks essentially. If you could clear that POC, that green dot, especially with that saucy-looking money flow, may be able to give you a move back up towards your value area high at about $137. I wouldn't expect that to come in right away. You do have some pretty decent resistance in the way of that coming immediately. I would watch for some decent resistance right here. I would also look for some resistance right here, which I did not mean to draw that like that. But let's see where our golden pockets are. Yeah, you got confluence up here with your golden pocket. I'm not even going to mark it out as resistance just because we're so far away from it. Yeah, you do have a local golden pocket right in this purple box here. I would actually potentially extend this to the 786. And then I would also go ahead and pull this fib from this high to the low, where you have another. I mean, again, I drew these boxes based off the volume, right? You have a high volume node. You have a high volume node here, likely to be resistance. High volume node here, likely to be resistance. And you do have the confluence of the 786 golden pocket levels in both of these purple boxes. So if you get that move up, again, not going to be not going to be the cleanest, just straight shot up to the value area high, but if you get above that POC, you could attack this purple box and then attack this second purple box. It's likely going to be very messy. You'll probably get rejected and then break above it and then get rejected from here and then get back above and then back down. But eventually you're expecting to get up to that value area high if you could get over that POC. And with the way the money flow looks on the daily, I wouldn't think it's completely impossible to get a move back up to that value area high, in the medium term, not right away. So there you go. Let's see. I'm trying to short mortgage coin to zero. Shout out to Crypto Cowboy. What a cowboy. Just out here. Don't talk about KuCoin. Sorry, James. Sorry, James Kramer. Didn't mean it. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Solana, and then we'll move on to child support. Here we go. All right, so Solana. Oh, wait, didn't we just look at Solana? Did we already look at, I think we already looked at Solana. Or is that from earlier today? I think it might have been earlier today. No, did we not look at Solana rejecting the value area high? Is that not what we were just looking at? Yeah, we already looked at Solana, I think. Yeah, XRP, Link, yeah, we already looked at Solana. Rejecting this value area high, be very careful. Hang on, let me pull up a higher time frame. Was it Solana? Let me pull this all the way back. Yeah, I think we looked at Solana already. I don't know if it was from the FOMC stream earlier today, but yeah, for Solana, guys, you broke below the value area high. You could be bearishly retested. Let me clear this. Pull our range. I'm going to pull it. I don't know if I want to pull it from here. Yeah, I mean, you're still just getting the same range. So here's the thing. Macro range, deviation, back up above the value area low. Where'd you go? Straight to the POC, as expected. Once you get a move to the value area high, you got a deviation. Now we're getting sucked back in. What do we think, guys? When you get to the value area low and you deviate, you can also consider this as being overbought. When you're above the value area high, you could think of it as being overbought. And when you're below the value area low, you could think of it as being oversold. That's why when you deviate away from the value area low, you could assume that you're going to get sucked back into your value area. The reason being is this is where Bitcoin, or Solana in this case, wants to trade. This is where price has found a fair value. So when you come out of that, it's a little underpriced, right? So people will buy it back up, bringing it back into the value area or the fair price for Solana. And we went from the low, held it as support, straight to the POC, as expected, straight to the high, deviation, overbought. We could get sucked back into the range. And what we would be looking for to try to figure out if we're going to get accepted back into this range would be the breakdown We got a bearish retest here. We are getting another bearish retest right here. So if you get a decisive rejection here, I would look for another move down on Solana. Now, looking at the lower time frames, as we did before, I don't necessarily see, yeah, I mean, you have price coming up with your momentum coming out, but money flow is coming up, and you're also printing a green dot on the 24-minute. So no immediate signals that are screaming that this thing wants to come down right this second. But yeah, VWAP rolling over on the 4-hour. I think you at least could get some kind of a rejection here. At least some sort of a rejection to the downside. I just don't know how aggressive it will be. Again, because money flow is coming up. So just you're definitely at local resistance. I would look for a cool off here on Solana. And again, like I wouldn't expect it. Yeah, I mean, higher time frames, money flow is generally coming out. So I would be careful here. Definitely testing very important resistance. And with the lower time frames rolling over, red dot printing, you could start to cool off here. So there you go. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at child support. I don't know what this is. I don't know what the coin is. I assume maybe somebody can deja vu in this B. Yeah. But okay. Yeah, child support. Yeah, I don't know what it is. If someone could let me know what it is, I assume it's probably a meme coin. Which means that, I don't know if it's a meme coin, but if it is, please understand that it is likely to not respect the TA, right? Oh, God. Yeah, this is I don't know. Let me see if I could find a, yeah, this thing does not, this thing is sketchy. All right, let's see. Trying to find a, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at here. We got a bunch of, yeah, I guess I'll look at the Tether US. This is going to be hard. Yeah, I guess it's on BSC. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a meme coin if I had to guess. Does not look like very... child support is given by the government when you have kids. Oh, thank you, Rob. I know what child support is. Shout out to Rob. Thank you for that, bro. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't realize, guys. Child support, yeah. It's that when you have to give money to take care of your kid. Shout out to Rob. Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to Lucio Fernandez. This is very hard for me to analyze because I don't know if it's this coin. Like, or this one? Is this the same thing? They look different. Yeah, I would say this. I don't know anything about this coin. I could try. I could think. I'm going to do analysis on this one because this looks the least sketchy, but it still definitely looks very, 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 very low volume, which is typically not the best thing. And just understand that take this with a grain of salt because, number one, I don't even know if I'm looking at the right thing. Number two, this doesn't look very good. I don't know. Again, I don't want to make a pre-assumed opinion here, but this definitely does. Yeah, I don't know. This looks sketchy. But let's take a look here. It's been around for a decent bit of time if I am looking at the right thing. I think child support's been around for a while, paying for your kids. Yeah, this is hard to say. I'll just do the analysis, take it with a grain of salt because I don't know what this is. It doesn't look like a healthy mover, if I had to be honest. Red dot printing on your daily. 16-hour red dot confirmed. What's your... yeah, daily red... VWAP flop on the daily with money flow coming out on the 2-day, actually. That is a bearish... I would say that's pretty bearish. Take a look at the daily. Red dot printing, also bearish. Money flow crossover into the red. Like, the fact that this thing has been in the red on the daily for most of at least this chart's existence is not a good look. Like, it's been in the red on the daily for like 210 days. That is not a good sign. Yeah, red dot printing on the daily, 16-hour money flow coming out. Let's take a look at the 4-hour VWAP and money flow coming out. This is this is hard. I could try to give you some levels. I would say this. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. That's just me, though. You might get rich on it. I have no idea. I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole, though. I'll tell you that. Yeah, the volume profile is still respected. You break above the value area low, straight to the POC, back to the low, back to the high, deviation, back to the low, deviation, back to the range, move to the POC, bounce off the POC, another dump. I would look for your support right here at $1.20, $1.31 as your POC. Key support, $1.10 at your value area low. You don't want to lose this. You definitely don't want to lose $1.10. But based off the volume profile, if you lost the value area low and got to bounce off the POC, you may be on your way to the value area low, and especially looking at the daily red dot and the daily red dot printing and the 2-day red dot and money flow coming out, I do think there's a chance you get down to $1.10. But again, I don't really. This is okay. There we go. No, and this child support review on CoinMarketCap. Yeah. I don't know exactly what this is. These levels should likely get respected. But yeah, I don't know what if there's fundamentals of this coin. If it's a meme, I guess you're saying it's not a meme coin. But I'll have to check it out after the stream. I'll go ahead and look it up on CoinMarketCap. But yeah, I would look for your key support. $1.30 to $1.10, Alucio, is going to be the kind of the levels you want to hold. Are we getting a golden pocket test here? No, not even. Yeah, I would look for a move down to the POC or value area low here, and then that's where I would look for some support. But I don't know how likely it is to hold, just because I don't know a lot about this. And the price action is a little bit wonky. Looks like very low volume, so just be careful with this kind of stuff. But yeah. Short and sweet on that. Sorry, I know that's a little bit butchered. It's just kind of hard to do TA on these like low liquidity coins. All right, let's go ahead and BTC retesting. Yeah, Bitcoin coming down just a little bit here, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look. Bada boom, and here we go. All right, so we are coming down into the blue box here, getting a little bit of a bounce. See, 12-minute. All right, let's check the 1 hour. Money flow still looks decent. Yeah, I would look for a bounce off that value area high. If you break this, though, here's the thing. If you break below this level, just like we looked at that golden pocket retracement or the 786 retracement, this could be the rejection level. Because remember, when you extend this value area, you test it. That gives a lot of confluence. Whoops. When you retest this, when you extend that value area, guys, it makes this a legitimate place to put in a lower high. You have your 786 golden pocket with your value area low. Could potentially be a good place to put in a lower high. But really, to decide that for me, I would, if we break below this value area high locally and we cannot get back above it with, medium time frame candles, that's where I think more likely than not, this was that bearish retest. This was that lower high. And then you could continue down a little bit more. Now, if we do break down more, guys, that next major level, the next major level I will be looking at is going to be below our macro range, below our macro value area low, right here at 28.6. If we get a push down, I would look for because here's the thing. If you look here at Market Cypher, we talked about this the other day. If we get a push down here, and again, that VWAP does look overextended, right? But money flow, again, mixed signals here. Money flow is looking super, super clean here. Now, if it comes down and we break below the value area high, and we break all the way down through the local range, and we come test this actual value area low, we talked about this. Lower lows on our price action, you could potentially set up for a bullish divergence on the 4 hour, which would be very, very bullish in my opinion. I just don't know if you're guaranteed to get that move. But if we did break, I would look for this to be our next support level. If we break this level, next level I'd look for a bounce is going to be 28,385, where we have a golden pocket. And then at the bottom of that golden pocket is $28,200. And then you start getting closer to this point of control at 28K even almost, which would be another level to watch as well. I don't know why this box is not all the way down there. So Really, if you don't get a bounce off that value area, if we do get a big nuke overnight, I would look for a bounce on the, that's the key level. I'll leave you guys with the key levels. This is where we'll wrap it up. If we get a bigger pull down here, I would look right here at $28,670 for support. If you lose that level, I'm looking down at this blue box between 28.4 and 28K. That would be the next area I would look for a bounce. So those are the two next key levels to the downside if we get a massive dump. 4-hour money flow, though, doesn't look horrible. So it is getting a little confusing here, but that's all right. That's why we got our long profits taken out and our stop loss set to break even. All right, let's see. Yeah, Crespo says anytime a crypto project says we're working with charities, huge red flag, 100%. If you've been in this space for a little while, you will know that is a very, very, very big red flag, which is very sad. Because they take advantage of people's good hearts, right? They think, oh, I'm doing something good, and they just know it's easy to scam people like that. Unfortunately, it's horrible. But yeah, definitely a big red flag. I don't know what you guys are talking about being a part of charity, but shout out to Crespo. Says child support serves both as a decentralized autonomous charity and as an investment. Also, it offers a solution to charity organizations that was not able to accept crypto as a charity in the past. Interesting. If it's a legit project, it doesn't mean that everything is a scam, but that is typically a pretty big red flag. I would agree with that. Let's see. Moon is positive, Frankie. Shout out to Andrew. Are you talking about like the moon cycles? Like is the moon is bullish? Is that what you're saying? Shout out to Andrew. Let me know. I am curious to see what you think. All right, let's see. Smoking a pancake. Shout out to B Team Crypto. Apple's charity just started. Address to send your crypto to follow. Shout out to Apple's up north. But guys, I think that is all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Let me pull up. There we go. Let's go ahead and spin that wheel of pain and pleasure. Shout out to Punk Hazard. I don't know why, but your $5 super chat just lived on. It never disappeared. Shout out to you, man. All right, let's go ahead and pull up that picker wheel. Let's go ahead and here we go. Boom. Bada boom, bada bing. And let me go ahead and set this up really quickly, guys. I could share my chart again. Or not my chart, but my screen. Add a giveaway. There we go. Should we just spin it on giveaway and that's it? All right, so I'm going to add 3 giveaways. And we'll add 2 nopes. And then I will mix them around a little bit. And yeah, I think that's good. We're outweighed. It's rigged in your favor as always. We love to rig things in your favor. Shout out to the CandleMafia. Where are we? Where'd the chat go? There we go. All right, here we go. Shout out to Wickfish. Charity is the name of the person I pay child support to. All right, let's see. How do we enter the giveaway? Shout out to Rodriguez. We're not calling the winners of the giveaway right now, but we're just adding on Friday. We announce the winners of the giveaways, but when we spin the wheel, this is how we know how many giveaways that we're going to pull on our Friday live stream. So let's see. Where'd the chat go? Shout out to Milo. So here we go. Giveaway numero uno. Here we go. Love to Frankie. Shout out to Akira Project. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. Dr. Rebus in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to Bubba's Crypto. Oh, baby. Rugged on that one. How many giveaways do we have? I mean, how many spins do we get today? Oh, my God. Look, we're famous. Anyway. 450 likes, 410 people in here. Not quite the 600 that we were looking for, but that's okay. We'll get 4 spins in here, no problemo. One more spin. Here we go. Waxing Moon, Brazilian Moon. Whoa, oh, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, B-Team. Hey. Giveaway tomorrow is going to be absolutely lit. Absolutely. Shout out to Tony D. There we go. Give him one more giveaway. How many is that for the day? 2 out of 4. Ooh, I'll give you guys one more spin. That's only a 50% hit rate. Not that great. Okay, there we go. Give him another giveaway. 3 out of 5. Not too bad. It's a majority win there. There we go. Add it to the giveaways on Friday, Rob or Tyler or whoever is in charge of that today. Don't forget to Hulk smash that like button. Shout out to Elionics. Let's see. Giveaway, let's go. Shout out to Akira Project. But guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all to who hung out all the way till the end of the live stream. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. Let me pull up my VMix here and live chat. It's really moving stuff around all over the place tonight. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the CandleMafia. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Poindexter noted, duly noted, saying that there is still a way to use the KuCoin trading bots. I'm pinning this really quickly so I don't lose it. Shout out to Poindexter. Thank you so much for that, bro. Poindexter, if you save this for me, there is going to be a serious love for you, my man. You know, like a friendly love, obviously. But let's see. Thanks, Frankie. You give Confluence. Shout out to Pop E22. Shout out to everybody tuned in right now. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for sticking around till the end of the live stream and spending your precious time here with your boy, Frankie Candles, to do 2 full hours of TA every single day. Well, technically 2 hours and 57 minutes, or 2 hours and 59 seconds, 2 hours and 1 minute, 2 hours, 1 minute and 3 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute and 4 seconds. I got to sign off, guys. That's all the time we got for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who knows where we'll be? Hopefully, my long will still be in profit, but maybe not. But that's all I got, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATP. Shout out to my boy, DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing, bong. Bing, bong. Hasta pasta, Mafia. It's meant to be. It's meant to be, guys. It's meant to be. I can't end the stream now. I can't end the stream. I can't. I bet you couldn't do that again. I bet you I could. Guys, the dollars are weird. Do you guys remember when I took the dollars and I threw them up and then they just landed in my hand again? That was wild. But with all that being said, guys, that's actually all the time. He's a wizard. That's all the time. I'm a money magnet. You know what I'm saying? That's all the time we got for tonight. I'll see you guys next time. 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same place, same time. After ATB. Shout out to DZ. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Tyler Ramos.
Hey, Ben. Ben? Hey, yeah, just real quick. I just got off my live stream. 2 things. Hopefully you're not mad at me. they're starting to get curious about the Satoshi thing. Yeah. No, I was very, yeah, no, I don't think they, yeah. I know it's super secret. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I don't think, like, they know, but they're definitely starting to get curious. And number 2, hopefully you're not mad about this either. The money magnet, I don't know how it turned on, like, right as I was signing off. I threw the money. A Benji stuck to my hat. Again, I don't think they know, but they're definitely sussed out a little bit. Just a heads up. Maybe, you know, be a little low-key. I'm going to do the same. Yeah, no, won't happen again. Won't happen again. Yeah, no, I don't think, cat's out of the bag or anything, but it definitely, you know, we got to figure out how to make sure the magnet doesn't turn back on because that was a little bit sus. Okay, yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, man. All right, see you later. Bye. Whew. Off. Okay. There we go. All right. There we go. Can you guys hear me? Oh no. How long have I been live for? How long have I been live for? Haha. Oh. Did you guys hear me on the phone? That's my friend Ben, back in New York. His name is Ben Corduroy, and he's actually not in crypto, but he's actually designing a magnet for me that'll help. I can't really explain what it is, but it's just a thing for the computer. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Tony D. Please, sir, please leave. Where is Dave Digital? Dave Digital, could you call the cops on Tony D, please? Call the cops on Tony D. Sir, this is a Chili's. Please leave. Guys, somebody lock Tony up. I'm just kidding, guys. That's all I got. Frankie, fake out to the max there. That was a pretty long fake conversation. It was definitely fake. Definitely fake. Just so you guys know. It's all a bit, right? It's all a bit. We all know that, right? Right, guys? Right? All right. Well, anyway, I'm neither, yeah. Anyway, guys, I got to go. I don't know.